Hi, welcome to an Easy Trader Update. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 17th of April. Okay, I just before I get on with the update, I must remember to put a date for your diary here. I'm going to give you the link, and you can sign up for it today. It's Thursday, the 2nd of May. It's going to be at 7:15. We're doing a free webinar. We haven't done one for ages, and we had quite a few different questions on different events. The economic situation, lots of questions on with Cyprus and whatever else. So what do we see happening next? What's happening there? So we're going to cover that off, and also Kevin's going to do a section on time-based trading. So good evening. Probably last an hour and 15 minutes, somewhere in that region is the target time, but probably knowing us, it'll run a little bit longer, but starting at 7:15, 2nd of May. So diary date for you. As I say, I will give you the link. You should have a link with this email, and it will be on our blog as well. So there you go. Right, let's get rid of that, and let's have a look at the market. So what's happening? It's ironic. Leading into yesterday, I was looking at the market thinking this may be turning over a little bit more now and coming off, and we ran bang into the Euro 8 moving average. Yeah, I expected a bit of a bounce. We've seen a bounce, and it looked like it was going to run off at one stage, and then the day turned. This morning I looked at this market and I thought, well, perhaps it's finished that little wave situation there. Perhaps we may see some upside. There was an upside opportunity, gave us the first long trade of the day and worked out to a degree. Got break even on the second part. But looking at the markets again in some more detail, and whilst we're above the daily 50, there are a few factors that are looking a tad weak. This is the euro dollar. Although not a tradable divergence, we are sitting in divergence territory on this price action that we saw. So there is some weakness in this current move, or in that current move. Now, of course, it doesn't mean say this is it, we're going to roll over, but I was looking for every single opportunity of why is it stopped here. I was looking at the bigger time frames, I was looking at the slightly shorter time frames. There's not a lot of reasoning why it's literally just stopped as it is. The 4 hour didn't give any clues. I looked at the weekly, no real clues as it happened. It looked earlier on that it may be running up towards the R2 area, the weekly 500 and 100 all bunched up above us. Thought it looked like a good target, but for now, whilst it may continue to run up, at the moment it's looking from this weekly point of view, okay, this week hasn't finished, but it's looking bear flaggish. When you look at the daily, well, it's still the bigger bear flag. We haven't done a 50% retrace. 50% retrace is just up here. It could, as I say, still run up higher and break. It certainly broke that original downward trend there. It's broken out of that, but it's really the questions start asking in terms of if we're going to see any sort of trend continue, and it's whether it starts breaking these highs here, or highs here, or the break through the lows, and actually, or break through the lows of this trend. Sorry, not very well drawn on there, but which way it's going to go next. And really, I think more decisive would be Monday's lows would be a decisive area in terms of giving us a bit of a clue in terms of the trend over the next few days, or the movement over the next few days. However, that all said, there's no reason why we don't just end up in chop. There's no decisive action that seems to be coming out at the moment. If you look back to last month, it's a funny old month actually. I had some really good days, but when you look at the lots and lots of the trading days were range bound, and set in relatively small inside bars, then a down bar, then an up bar, then another down bar. And the overall drift was quite easy. It was in a downward trend, so the general trend was quite easy. But there wasn't a consistent trend in terms of multiple down days or multiple up days. You almost at one stage, looking there, you had red, green, doji green, red, green through the month. And we're in a bit of a scenario here, and bearing in mind this during this period we had the Cyprus thing going on as well, but we're in this situation where it could easily just, okay, yes, it's in this sort of upward move at the moment, but just do stay within a tightish, biggish range here, and we'll see how we run out of it. But for now, as I say, the decisive action for me on the euro is a break of the highs. If we see a break of Tuesday's high or a break of Monday's low here, may give us a bit more direction in terms of where we were going. Of course, if we just see a couple of bars down and another bar up, well, we could be in more of last month, which for trend-based traders is not quite so not so really what they want us to be seeing. Trying to hold long positions for long-time swing traders, short-term traders. We can still get some good trades out in the markets, and plenty to be had if you just catch the right ones, of course. Okay, so it's euro bigger time frames. I'm just going to drill down a little bit on this and look at the 4-hourly. Finding some support. It broke through earlier support areas here, finding further support on the 21 and 4-hourly 21 at the moment. Still could potentially come down to its 50. It's as I'm looking at the moment, it's still below. Just bring it down to an hourly for a moment. It's just coming back up to the just remove that. Well, there was an area of highs. Pop it back on again now. Actually, now I've moved it. There was an area of resistance around this level prior, and that, I mean, that gave us a good target in terms of looking for the pivot earlier on, the daily pivot as it was coming back down as a target, which has gone right the way through that back to the hourly 50. Seeing a bounce off that at the moment. Now, of course, that could run for about 40-50 pips. Could run further, but it's as soon as it runs up towards the shorter term moving averages, it's coming back into resistance at those points, so somewhere to just watch. I mean, it may just get stuck here. There are some, I'm looking at 31.54, which is around about these short term moving averages, so there's some resistance around about that level that may slow it down on the shorter time frames, on 4-hourly periods particularly. But as I say, key things with euros, watching for those previous lows or previous highs and seeing which way we're going to trend here. At the moment, you can see in the shorter time frame, it's been relatively choppy. If we come onto cable, whoops, so this is the pound dollar, clear move today. But if we come out to the dailies, again, we've seen this green, red, red, green, red. So it's quite choppy, quite rangy in daily points of view. Some days have been outright, sort of, for me, for the majority of the day, completely untradeable. For the trading time, trading anyway, so it's been much more difficult. For now, we're just seeing this retest to the daily 50. It may give a bit better bounce. It's seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment, but not significantly significant bounce. But that may drift up during the afternoon. The overall picture here, well, it's effectively, again, you've got sort of two key levels that we're looking at here in terms of the highs, looking to see if we get a continuation of this move, or if we take out these lows here. Now we've got a regression channel I've just popped on here. Now it's just gone through its mean. It could easily come back, test perhaps even the 34 here, catch the bottom channel and rally back up again. I mean, this will be the early stage. If it breaks the bottom of the regression track channel, well, then we could see further downside with cable. From a 4-hour perspective, it's done a lower high. It's broken the lows here, so as I say, to me, downside targets really push down towards the sort of 4-hourly 200 or so. If you come down to the shorter time frames at the moment, it's a bit overdone, oversold here. It's come off on this hourly point of view quite strongly, I guess. Could get a bigger bounce. The one thing to bear in mind, the overall move from this morning, if you go back to 6 or 7 o'clock, from well, it's come down about 130 pips now, so it's a bit better. So it's more of a bigger range, and it is sitting from a daily perspective right on its S2 pivot here, and they do tend to hold them quite well. It's had a reasonable range. It may hold up here with the 60-minute 500 as well, may hold up. The only thing is, when it's come off like this, quite often in the afternoon we see a bit of drift, rather than real good bounce. We'll have to see how it runs through. Okay, finally, a quick look at yen and the dollar euro yen in a moment. Sorry, I'll just change this chart back. There's no point looking at. Oops. Bring that back to an hourly at the moment and look at this from a daily perspective. And we've seen a good bounce off the dollar. The yen's weakened again. This is dollar yen, so the dollar's gained some strength against the yen. Reasonable candles running up here at the moment. It's looking stronger, certainly, dollar wise. Let's bring this back to a 60. Let's just do the 4 hourly first. We're really in this sort of there is this sort of bear flag certainly showing itself at the moment. There was minor divergence earlier on when we saw the run down here a couple of days ago, but now it's on Mondays actually, late session. It's now sort of running back upward. Let's bring this to a 60-minute. At the moment, it's putting a series of higher lows in, and so for me, it probably is the stronger, but it really depends on for the euro yen. It depends on how well the euro holds up or rolls over. But the picture you can see on here is pretty similar. So it's putting that sort of same. Let's just come back to the dailies here. Same sort of patterns in here. Very good chance of going up and maybe giving us a divergence if it runs into the highs there. I'd certainly be looking at the potential of those highs as a short opportunity. Particularly, coming back to the yen, so I'm switching this dollar yen back to dollar yen here. Around about that key at 100 area, there'll be key resistance. That's where the expectation of the price to get up to. That will equate the same on the euro yen to its current highs. And there's potential we'll see. Okay, it may run through that, but maybe even a bigger sell-off as profits are taken and the big boys are waiting to ambush the smaller traders as they get a bit overly bullish. So if it does get up there, there's certainly areas I'll be looking at potentially shorting, providing in shorter term time frames there's reason to do so. For now, as I say, it looks weak. It looks like it will make a divergence on a daily point of view. Coming down back to the 4 hourlies there. Still, I mean, I was expecting some more downside today. Actually, the way it was shaping up, still looking, as I say, weak with this bear flag pattern in some respects. But just see how it runs with the higher lows and the shorter time frames. It may just push it back up to the previous highs. But that point is when. As I say, I believe there'll be more weakness coming in, potentially. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you have a great couple of days. Kevin will be back on Friday. Just a reminder, once again, the webinar on the 2nd of May at 7:15 p.m. Bye for now.